Tonight we're having the opening reception for Coastal Impressions, Painters of the Jersey Shore, 1880 to 1940. Morven's mission is to, among other things, to interpret the cultural history of New Jersey. And if this doesn't do it, nothing does. It's organized around the collection of Roy Peterson, who is known to have been the primary collector of this particular group of painters who painted at the Jersey Shore.
Roy Peterson is a collector and dealer based in Lambertville, New Jersey, just across the river from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, a place known for its early 20th century Impressionist painters.
I know Bucks County painting pretty well. I'd worked in that area for quite some time and was familiar with it. I also began to notice that New Jersey was silent. And at some point you notice the silence, what's missing more strongly than the presence of something else. And that's when the process began. And I kept reviewing whether this was simply an enjoyment of discovering more about the area I grew up in, or was it a real and strong classification of art history that had been missed. And I became certain of the latter. These are great painters who painted marvelously. The stories, their personal commitments to art at the Jersey Shore were the equivalent of anything I've seen anywhere.
Some of the earliest painters going down the shore had studied with the French Impressionists.
During the winter months, they'd be in Paris looking at the galleries and museums, and then their teachers encouraged them to go into the more rural settings, away from urban scenes, to paint light and sky and water and reflections. So when these artists came back to the United States, they kind of imitated the same patterns, working in Philadelphia and New York, sometimes teaching, and then on the warmer weather months, traveling to shore regions to paint what they saw outside.
And that's what artists were looking for. Many of these painters were searching for an honesty in the people and a clarity in the environment. There was an understanding that in that simple, hard-working culture, you could produce an honest art, a stronger art than the decorative art or the historical art that was otherwise being painted.
In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, painters were working all up and down New Jersey's coast, from Cape May to Sandy Hook. They're now being rediscovered for a new century.
You identify with them immediately. You identify with what they paint, and you begin to see the world in the same ways that they painted it. And that transformation is as powerful an experience as art can provide.